Welcome to the RIOT podcast without Nikki.
It's me.
It's Hudson. So now we're going to find out if you're a fair weather fan or just a Nikki fan.
How much do you really like Obadiah?
How much do you really, are you behind the team when part of the team can't make it?
Yeah.
So today in the podcast, what do we got here? We got me closing. I closed out. Do you remember what we talked about?
I know what we talked about. I don't know what we put in the podcast.
Oh, you know what? That's actually a good point, right? So today in the podcast, Mike, you guys can't see it. The mic is falling. I got to hold it. Okay, so today we talk about the kind of internet ads I found on our computer.
Oh, yeah. That's gold.
Little Caesars has got a free pizza thing happening today.
Yeah. Listen quickly so that you find out about that deal before it's too late.
Oh, man, it might be too late by the time you get this.
Yeah.
There's a couple of job postings we looked at. Hudson doesn't like to clap, and the lamest police chase of all time.
All right.
Of all time. Well, maybe not, but it's in the running.
Yeah.
It is in the top 5 lamest police chases of all time.
I'd like to see that list.
Well, I'm not going to say it's at the top, but it's on that list somewhere for sure. So you guys enjoy the podcast, and Hudson and I, because Nikki's out all week. Oh, no. Yep. This is what you got. It's the RIOT.
Want to know what the RIOT is doing right now? Follow them on Instagram and Twitter at riot.radiou.com. It's the worst of the RIOT on RadioU.
Nikki's out. Hudson's in.
Hey, now.
Hudson, you're mostly healthy.
I'm feeling better. Yes.
You weren't sick over the weekend.
No, not really sick. I'll tell you, I do have one after, I feel like it's an after effect.
Okay.
After throwing up so much and, losing a bunch of weight from that and whatever. And that was just...
Wait. How much weight did you lose?
4 pounds.
Okay, all right,
That's
sure.
significant, right? Because I threw up a bunch on one day. It was really contained in 24 hours, but I was also, for me, anytime I throw up for a long time after that, it's do you really want to eat again? Do you really want to risk this?
So you've been afraid of it, timid about eating. Okay.
So there was a day or two of just being afraid to eat. And then since that, it's I feel like every time I eat, I can't eat as much. Nowhere close to as much. When I went out for Easter dinner yesterday, I took home half of a country fried steak because I was I can't do this. Normally, that's no problem for me. Yesterday, it was a thing.
So do you think that all of that fear and trepidation that you have about the food, do you think it's just in your head, or do you think your body is literally no?
I think, I don't know. I guess this sounds dumb. I feel like my stomach shrunk a little bit, where it's just
Well, that does happen. I just don't feel like it happens that fast.
Yeah, that's why I know it's dumb, but that's how it feels. Because it just feels like I get fuller faster, and that's only from a couple days. So maybe this is a new diet plan.
What? That's actually a disorder, but I don't know. It would be interesting to talk. I'm hoping Sydney's back because Sydney was out on Friday. She was sick, or was it Thursday? It was Friday, right? Yeah. Okay, so she was out on Friday. So I wonder, if she's been eating, because it sounds like Josh was sick Thursday night.
Yeah.
You were sick on Wednesday?
Wednesday.
Okay.
Yes.
But it sounds like Sydney was the sickest of everybody.
Really?
Yeah. She had a high fever and all this kind of stuff. In the meantime, I so far have been fine.
Yeah, I know. I don't understand it because it feels like Sydney and I hate to say this, we only really come in contact here in the studio.
Well, sure.
And once I got sick, I was never sick and then went into the studio for more than a few minutes.
Okay.
So it's not like I infected the studio. So unless I was carrying before I actually got sick, then I don't know how she got sick from me. But if that is the case and I infected the studio, you would think that you and Nikki and
you would think at least Nikki, because you guys all sit in the same place. Yeah. Well, the other thought I had is that Sydney might have. It could be completely coincidental.
It could be.
She went to a Beacon Lights show on Tuesday or Wednesday night.
Okay.
She might have caught a bug and it was just cooking. It was just cooking for a few days and then boom.
Yeah, you never know.
And it was complete coincidence.
It's possible.
Yeah.
Then that I'm off the hook, so it makes me feel a little better.
Well, I mean, there's no way. At the end of the day, there's no way to really know.
Yeah, we can't. We really can't trace this back.
We can't. We can only guess where it all came from. So.
And it doesn't do any good anyways.
You're right. I just don't want to get sick.
The RIOT. Turn it down.
And rip that
RadioU.
Hudson, why didn't you go into the Army?
I'm definitely not cut out for that. Definitely not.
What, you don't think so? Like you don't? Are you like they would have yelled at you and you would have cried? Or
No,
like what?
I can deal with that.
You can deal with the yelling. Okay.
I think I just.
You're pretty disciplined. Like you seem like you set out to do something. You finish it.
I think I have some self discipline, but I just can't. I can't handle the routine, like the very regimented lifestyle. I can't do that. I need some freedom.
You can't get up, can't. But I mean, it would only be for like 12 weeks, and then like when you're not deployed. I had a friend of mine in the Army, and he said it was just a lot like working a job. Like he would go home at night and like whatever, and come back. But I mean, of course, at any moment they could be like, "We own you, son," and then you had to go do something
go across the globe.
Yeah. Well, the Army is wanting to. They've got this problem where on the one hand they're like, we want more people to join Army.
Yeah.
And then on the other hand, they're like, but Americans are very fat. And so we can't, your Call of Duty skills do not translate into actual Army skills.
Yeah, because in real life you actually have to run before you can like shoot people and stuff.
And I was thinking about this. I was playing Far Cry over the weekend, and I'm like crouched as I'm walking around, and I'm like, this guy that I'm playing as, he could crouch and walk for like 10 miles. I couldn't crouch and walk to like the end of the hallway. I'd be like, all right, this is too much work. I got to stand back up. Forget about it, whatever. So, I mean, the crouch walk that you take for granted in every video game.
Right. Or like when they lie down. And it's like in the video game, it's fine. But yeah, in real life, it's like, it's mud down there.
Dude,
the bug could crawl on me.
Sarge, there's a bunch of bugs in this. Yeah. I'm not getting down there. Sorry. So the Army, they had, what did they have last week? It was like the Army's Global Force Symposium in Alabama. And one of the things that they're talking about is making basic training longer.
Okay.
So in other words, if you're going into the Army, see if you can go into basic like tomorrow. Because they're saying by the end of this year, now they haven't made an official announcement, but what they're looking at is taking the 10-week basic training to 12 weeks.
Okay.
And then what I believe, and again, they use a couple of like official words where I'm not really sure, but it looks like maybe boot camp would go from 3 weeks to 6 weeks.
Okay.
So they would take your fat self and they would, instead of the like, oh, it's 3 quick weeks and then you're on to like the training. They're like, nah, bro. We're doing 6 weeks. We got to knock the suburbs out of you.
So like 3 more weeks of getting yelled at where you just stand there and they spit in your face pretty much?
I think so. Like, it's the stuff they do to get you ready for the combat readiness test, which used to be 3 weeks, and now they're saying, we're going to do this for 6 weeks.
Gotcha.
And then you would go into, like, the basic thing, which that's not just, we're going to kick your butt because you're so out of shape. It's also stuff like, here's how you hold your rifle.
Right.
And here's how you salute and march.
To know, right.
All the other stuff that they teach you when you go to Army.
What if you do, I never thought about this. Like, I have a brother that did, like, JROTC or, like Civil Air Patrol and stuff like that. What if you already know all that stuff and then you have to go to the Army?
I think you just breeze through it, right?
Yeah. I don't know. Can you? Like, you still have to probably go through training like everybody else.
Right, but it'll be easy because you'll be like...
Yeah, but then you'd be like, why do I have to do this? I already learned it. You know what I mean? Like, that would suck to me.
Hudson, the fact that you're asking that question immediately tells me you can't go into the Army.
Yeah, I could never do either thing.
Hey, Sarge! I've done this already. Yeah. Can I, like, test out of it? Like, get down there, maggot! It's no good for you, Hudson.
It's not going to work.
It's the worst of the riot, because calling it the best of the riot would be a lie. RadioU.
Dude, off air, Hudson and I have stumbled onto a really good question. Okay, so I'm getting together with some people tonight that, like, I know but don't know super well.
Okay.
But we're all friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
So
do they listen to the show?
I don't think so. Are
they going to know that they're talking about them?
Hey, listen, I'm not afraid of a meta conversation, even with people I don't know. So that's fine. Like, it's totally fine. If it goes there, it's fine. So here's what I'm wondering. You're getting together with some people that you're Facebook friends, but you don't know super well.
Right.
Is it creepy to just go onto their Facebook wall, or whatever the heck, their timeline, start scrolling down, see what they've been up to so that you can ask them about it over dinner?
I feel like there's like definitely a line in there where like, okay, here's where I'll start. If you're just going to go through their Facebook to try to get a feel for them and like see what kind of stuff are they interested in, feel like that's okay. That's normal.
Okay.
But like somewhere between there and like going through and kind of making mental notes of all this different stuff you want to ask them about and then actually saying like, hey, I saw you went to Europe. Hey, looks like you're a big fan of the Bengals. Like all this different stuff. I feel like somewhere along there is where it's going to get maybe not necessarily creepy, but weird to them. Yeah. Because they're going to be like, how do you know all this stuff? Like, how much have you been looking at my page?
Well, then you have to, that could lead to another great conversation. We could talk about internet privacy.
Yeah, right.
How do you know all this? Well, you've shared all of it. And I've been going through your trash, but that's something else.
Yeah.
You know, you guys put it out on the street every Monday night. It's no big deal.
Yeah, right.
It's public property
it's
at that
out
point,
there.
right?
Just, we can have it.
It's great. Whatever. No, I just, was thinking, like, if we were having a bandit, for example, last week, Beacon Light and Kevy were here.
Okay.
Before Kiwi, dang it. Before they showed up, the first thing I did was I went on Beacon's Twitter, I went on his Facebook page, and I was looking for it on Instagram. And I'm just like, okay, what is all the stuff that he's been doing? I'm going to ask him. And so, like, I'll have some material to work through, right?
Right.
But you figure dinner with people you don't know, you're practically interviewing them.
Yeah, it's kind of like an interview.
So you got, do you prep some questions? Do you get ready? Or is this just me being weird and being like a broadcaster?
I don't know.
And taking it into social situations.
Yeah, because, what you don't want with a dinner or, any gathering with people that you don't really know very well, you don't want any awkward silence and pause and whatever where the conversation dies.
Right.
So I guess you going through, you have some stuff in your back pocket ready to go. I guess where you just have to tread carefully is how you bring it up. Because if you're just like, hey, I saw all this different stuff you did, or that you were talking about, like at some point to them, it's just going to be, to me, I would think that you're going to get into creepy territory in their mind. Because even though it may, in actuality, have only taken you 5 minutes and you only had to scroll through like 20 posts or something like that, to them, the more things that you bring up that they didn't talk to you about or that you shouldn't really have a way of knowing all of this, they're going to start thinking, man, how much time has this guy spent
So you're saying,
it?
like, no note cards?
Definitely not.
No note cards. Okay. So what about then, like with Beacon Light, I just had his Facebook page open on my laptop while we were talking. So,
I feel like that's not a good plan.
So you don't think, like, say,
in real life,
we're sitting there, we're at dinner, we're all, friends, and I've got their Facebook maybe like pulled up on my tablet. I've just got it sitting on the table, and I just scroll through and from time to time comment with them about.
Like at that point, then they're going to start feeling like they're under a microscope.
What?
You know?
No, I'm just looking.
Wait, have you ever had a conversation with somebody like that where, like, they're talking to you, but you actually feel like you're being interviewed? It's uncomfortable. There's somebody, I hesitate to say this, somebody that calls the station, and they talk to me, and they're like, and they start asking these questions, like, are you interviewing me for a magazine or something? They do it all the time. And, like, it's kind of like, well, eventually it starts to get, like, what are you doing? And I feel like if you're, like, with Facebook, if you were just scrolling through their Facebook, they might start feeling that way.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. I mean, for me, the thing I've gotten used to is people knowing things about me that I haven't told them because of this show and the internet.
Yeah.
And so I guess I'm kind of used to it, which that's a whole other thing.
Well, yeah, but the reality is they have no right to be upset. But will they be uncomfortable?
Maybe I'll just start the conversation like, hey, I just want you to know, I wanted to make sure I was prepared for this. So I spent the last 10 minutes looking at all of your social media, and last week I went through your trash. So
there you go.
Let's get the uncomfortable stuff out up front, and then, we should be able to have a great time.
I think that works.
Ever wonder what Nikki is doing when she isn't rioting? Find her Twitter feed at riot.radiou.com. Obadiah's is there too, but who cares what he's doing?
So Nikki's not here, and as a result, Hudson's here.
Hey, Nick.
Now, And I didn't say anything bad. I was just saying that's what happened. And I'm sitting here at this computer. I'm sitting where Nikki normally sits. Hudson's sitting where I normally sit.
Right.
So I'm using the computer that everybody else does instead of my laptop.
Okay.
And, it's all the ads that pop up when you're using the internet. Those ads are a result of the cookies that are usually stored locally on your computer.
The, internet cookies.
And so they are trying to guess what your demographic is so they can target ads towards you.
To trying to guess what Josh, Sydney, Nikki, and I look at, basically.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so, sure, there's ads here for cameras. I know that's Nikki because Eric is always sending her a link to a camera. Look at this. Okay, fine.
Yep.
There's smartphone ads. Yep, sure.
I've looked for smartphone stuff recently, so that's me.
Okay, what about paint? Here's a Sherwin-Williams ad. Paint colors? Are you painting your apartment,
Not
Hudson?
me.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. And then here's the one that really, really bothers me just a little bit.
Okay.
Is that at the very top of this page, there's an ad, and it's geo-targeted. So if you live in blank, where we currently live, and are born between the years 1936 and 1956, check this out.
All right.
Now, we got one or two things going here. Either you guys are looking at stuff that makes the internet think you're old.
Yeah.
So are you shopping for antiques? What are you, I don't know.
Okay.
There's that. Or someone, I don't know who, here is way older than they look.
Yeah.
So which one is it? Is this a Highlander situation?
I can already figure out. I already know the answer to this.
Okay.
That's from Sydney.
Why? Oh.
All the shows she watches.
Dude, you're totally right. Sydney is the oldest person here because she watches CBS.
She does. She watches, what is it, NCIS? All the shows that are abbreviations, she watches them. And
she does.
Does she watch Law & Order? It wouldn't surprise me.
Probably. She watches police procedurals on CBS.
Yep.
It is America's most watched network.
It is.
Or so they say.
She's a part of it.
So, she's out there right now. Oh, dude, you are absolutely right. That's exactly what this is.
It's guessing based on Sydney searching for the synopsis of the NCIS episode she missed. That's where it gets that.
You're Googling NCIS. You are obviously born before 1956.
Right, of course.
Wow. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the answer. It's not as cool as if we found out that Nikki is actually 400 years old and keeps changing her name to seem like a new person.
Starts a new life every few years.
So to keep the scent off of her and stuff. Yeah. That would have been a lot cooler.
Yeah, unfortunately, no.
The reality of it is, Sydney we got to get her to stop Googling CBS shows.
Right.
Sydney, we've called this meeting today because we have to talk to you about something. We need you, if you want to keep watching those shows on your own time, that's fine.
Yep, you can use your own phone to Google it.
It's fine. But stop using station property to look at CBS shows. We just can't
screwing
have
up
this.
our internet ads. We want ads that are relevant to us.
Nikki and Obadiah. Obadiah and Nikki.
Love, hate, hate, love.
All right, everyone in, let's go.
It's the worst of the riot on RadioU.
Here's a slice of good news for you. Nikki's gone. Hudson's in.
Hey now.
And lunch is free.
That's
kind
a slice.
Yeah.
Good news for sure.
It's not really a slice. It's a square.
Okay.
But, can you call a square a slice if you cut it?
You have to slice into it.
Seems reasonable. So, if you guys didn't see, before March Madness started, the peeps over at Little Caesars said that if crazy happened, there would be a free lunch thing. And so they say, crazy did happen. So what with a number 16 team beating a number 1 team?
Yep. It's never happened before.
So they say everybody in the United States, that's you, that's me, whoever, today shows up at Little Caesars between 11:30 and 1 p.m. So there's a 90-minute window.
Yep. Not very big.
It's not. But you know what? Their lunch combo is kind of big. It's 4 pieces of pizza and then a 20-ounce Pepsi product of some kind.
That's worthwhile. It's kind of worth stopping in for, I think.
That's more than I expected it to be.
Right.
I thought when they said a lunch combo, they were like a piece of crazy bread and this cup of water.
Right. That's it.
That's the new crazy combo.
Yeah. When Taco Bell does this, like during the World Series and somebody steals a base or whatever, you get like one
steal
taco.
A base, steal a taco.
Which is worth like 50 cents. This is like,
I think it's
$4?
79 cents.
Oh, okay,
Hudson,
there you go.
Just to be clear. Yeah, I think, is it normally $3.99 or $4.99?
I think so.
Well, there you go. So my question to you is, are you going?
It's a tight window. I'll have to see if I can actually make the 11:30 to 1, if I can get it somewhere in there.
Yeah.
But it seems to be a good deal. I'll also see, like, if I pull by and it's really crowded, it's not worth it. Like,
how short does the line have to be for this to be worth it to you to get a free $5 lunch?
If the line is out the door, I'm definitely not stopping.
But if the line is contained inside the restaurant,
well, then I'm stopping, and then we'll see.
Okay. Because, I mean, Little Caesars, those are usually small places.
Yeah.
There's not going to be a ton of room in there.
That's why I feel like out the door is probably a good, like any other place, out the door is obviously like you don't even want to go near it. With Little Caesars, I feel like if it's out the door, that probably means the line's long enough that you would be waiting, that you don't need to get the pizza. But if it's contained inside, I think there's a good chance that it'll be fine.
See, my thing is, I feel like out the door is doable. It's doable, but once it gets past the glass, so like the out the door, down the glass storefront a little bit, okay. Once we get that cutout point where it's like I'm no longer waiting in line in front of the Little Caesars, right. I'm now in front of the dollar store.
Yeah.
Or like whatever. That might be a little bit too much.
Yeah. I don't know. I like Little Caesars. No, that was the wrong thing I just said. I don't like Little Caesars. It's okay for what it is. Like, sometimes it's fine to spend the $5 and get a Little Caesars pizza. So, like, getting it for free is worthwhile, but at the same time, it's not like it's not that exciting. So if I miss out, I'm not going to feel bad.
I feel like Little Caesars is something that everyone tolerates and no one likes once you get over a certain age.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like pretty much any time, I mean, what's the cutoff age? Is it 13? Is it 14 where all pizza's the same?
Yeah.
And then one day you realize it's not all the same. And then after that, Little Caesars doesn't seem like as good of a deal.
The Riot with Obadiah.
Oh, loneliness and cheeseburgers are a dangerous mix.
The Riot with Nikki.
Shut up.
Oh, don't tell me to shut up!
The Riot on RadioU.
Man, your dream job just got posted, and then they pulled it down.
What?
It was there, and then they're like, nah, bro, we were just kidding. We're just like, no, you're not going to find that here anymore. Apparently over the weekend, Netflix had a job posting.
Okay.
That, again, it was there, and then it was gone.
Okay.
They took it down. But according to this, someone got a picture of the job posting. They were looking for an editorial analyst.
Okay.
To watch, research, rate, tag, annotate, and write analysis for movie and TV content. So basically, you would watch and review Netflix original content.
Okay.
So they're not looking for your take on Scarface, which is going to be available from April 2nd through April 18th. No, they are looking for, hey, this is Netflix content, straight from us, and you have to write about it.
Okay.
But the job listing is gone.
Did they fill it that quickly?
You got to wonder.
Yeah.
Did they?
I'm sure
or
that
did
was
it get,
high demand.
Did it get posted and nobody noticed?
Yeah.
I don't know. So,
or was it an April Fool's joke?
Dude, I didn't even think about that. What if it was?
April Fools, like, it's when we should be treating the news with as much skepticism.
Yes, yes, absolutely.
That we treat it with every other day, and then more so, apparently.
Absolutely.
And yet I found myself a lot of time going through the news, like, and it started on Friday. That's where it tripped me up. April Fool's stories were coming through, and I was like, oh, what? Oh, wait a minute. That's April Fool's.
It's not real.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Maybe it was. If it was, everybody's owned their April Fool's jokes from yesterday, though.
Yeah.
So, like, no one has owned this. You know, they haven't been out there like, well, you know, it wasn't real. It was just a joke.
Yeah. And it seems like it's not quite not quite odd enough for it to be an April Fool's joke. You know, like they would have made it more a little silly. Like, we want somebody, and they wouldn't have used all those technical terms. It just would have been like, we want somebody to watch Netflix for 8 hours a day and write about it. You know, I feel like they would simplify it a little bit. That makes it sound like they're actually serious.
But like in an actual, yeah, exactly. Because like if it's a real job posting, it's going to have, I feel like, a lot of the stuff they had written in there. So it felt kind of real. I feel like I'd be perfect for this job, and maybe Josh would be a better choice. I don't know. But I had one of my college professors. We had to write 10 papers. This was the best class ever. I took an acting class. And for this acting class, we had to choose 10 films and 10 performances. So it was like, you have to pick a movie and you have to pick an actor or actress in that film, and you have to write the details of their performance.
Okay.
What they did, why the performance was good, what it added to the overall, like all of these kind of things.
Okay.
So I wrote those 10 papers over the course of a semester. And when I got done, the professor called me and he was like, hey, I think you should seriously consider writing about film as a job.
Wow.
He's like, your 10 papers were some of the best I've ever read. And I was like, yes, I'll do radio. So
for me, it feels like it would become work, not the watching part. But for me, anytime like I go from, and I love watching movies and TV, and sometimes I feel like I want to share my thoughts. But anytime I start trying to write about it, that's when it becomes, this isn't fun. I don't like writing at all about anything, even if it's something I like.
Well, that's the best part about radio. It's so throwaway. You just say it, you're done.
I say it, and people forget about it 5 minutes later.
You're done.
There's no scrutiny of what I say.
Nobody can reference it.
There's no accountability.
Though of all of us, Josh is the writer. Like, he's the one that would sit there and write it down.
This is definitely a Josh thing.
He could absolutely do this job.
The other thing about it, though, also is like, if it's one thing when you have to watch a show that you watch it for a few minutes and you're like, all right, I don't like this, and then you just stop. For this, like, then you have to keep watching it, and that would be horrible.
I know some people think that like turning your hobby into your job is the best thing that can happen to you, but it can backfire.
Oh yeah.
We thought about selling the worst of the riot, but let's be honest, no one is buying this stuff. Get it for free on the RadioU app.
Earlier, we found a job listing that's no longer posted that we felt like would have been perfect for Josh, but I think I would have taken it. And I bet Hudson would have taken it in a pinch.
I would have tried it.
And that was Netflix was looking for basically someone to write reviews of their content.
Right.
Sign me up for that. But we may be speaking too soon. You know, here's another job posting that it didn't immediately scream Josh to me. But I will say that this job posting has happened, and all of a sudden Nikki needs to take a couple days off.
Maybe she's flying out for the interview.
Nikki's on vacation for a couple of days. She might be flying out for an interview right now. Maybe Josh is. Maybe he was gone. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he wasn't, or maybe Sydney wasn't actually sick.
Do you think so? I will tell you, bro, we so had somebody, like, I've had this happen twice. People are like, I don't feel good. I can't come in. And you're like, you're so going to a job interview tomorrow. I actually went up to somebody. I was like, so how was the interview? And they were like, what?
How did you know?
I'm not stupid. Plus, you leave your... No. Okay, so Foster, Rhode Island. They got a nudist campground out there.
Okay.
Right? They're looking for a lifeguard.
Oh, boy.
For the summer season.
Oh, boy.
So, how do you feel about nudist lifeguarding?
First question.
Okay.
Does the lifeguard have to be nude?
No.
No.
Good question.
There you go.
The lifeguard can wear a swimsuit. And to quote Dyer Woods Nudist Campground, they say that Jim Johnson, he's the campground president.
Okay.
Jim says that you can wear a swimsuit, but it's not necessary.
Of course not.
Yeah. Whoa. They offer nude swimming, hiking, volleyball, and a sauna.
Okay.
But you got to put a towel down for that.
Yes.
Actually, I think you have to put a towel down everywhere you go.
Well,
So-
that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Definitely for the best.
That's a thing.
Yeah.
You gotta maintain some level of.
Yeah.
But, I mean, is it true nudism if you got to carry a towel around? Man, you talk about lighting a fire in the nudist community right there. Just going to like, hey, guys, I don't want to start a thing here, but, you know, me carrying this towel around feels like it's really impeding on my sense of self-expression.
Yeah, right.
So, like, I don't know. I think I'm going to go to a different nudist camp. things go crazy.
Yeah.
There's
a
fights.
divide.
Yeah.
The nudist camp is all of a sudden 2 nudist camps.
There's suddenly there's an intellectual discussion. Like, people are like, all right, what is nudism? What is it about? Can I be a nudist even though I'm wearing clothes? Man, there's a whole workshop that's going to have to take place for that. But there you go. They're looking for a lifeguard. He says there's no real difference between their camp and a regular campground.
Yep.
It's just, look, people aren't wearing any clothes.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that's different.
You know what's funny is I think if I was just out somewhere, if I was just at a beach and I saw somebody in trouble and I could help them, and they weren't wearing clothes, but it wasn't a nude beach or whatever, I feel like, well, I'd go help that person.
You'd be so in the moment,
right?
You wouldn't think about whatever.
It seems different if you're on a nude campground, like I just feel like, or a nude beach or whatever. It feels like you'd be a little more uncomfortable. Like, I don't want to go up to a nude person, even if they're in trouble.
See, Hudson, I think they would say, like, you just have to go and become acclimatized to.
You just have to get used to it.
But for me, like, I don't see why I need to get used to it.
Like, you don't have to. Like,
why should I?
Everybody doesn't have to be used to everything everybody else does all the time.
Every once in a while, a little restraint isn't a bad thing.
Yeah.
Like, this is society. You can't, every once in a while, you're just like, hey, guys, we're going to hold back.
And sometimes there's just things where it's like, I know a lot of people do that. I just feel like I'm going to stay away from those people.
So you're not going to be lifeguarding at the nudist camp?
I guess I guess I'll rule it out, yeah.
All right. Well, we can check in with...
I'm not a strong enough swimmer to be a lifeguard anyways. I'm not saving anybody. Let's be honest.
Hudson, this could be your movie where it's all about how you set a goal and you achieved it. You wanted to be the lifeguard in a nudist camp. You started out as not a good swimmer, but you've been going to the Y 3 times a week, and you've been getting that swim in, and you've been doing the push-ups, and, like, you're ready.
This is the motivation I needed. Once the opening at the nudist camp opened up, that was the motivation I needed to get my swimming game on par.
That's right. On top, right there.
You're listening to the worst of the riot.
Today sucks.
Radio U.
Oh, Hudson, are you ready for this?
I don't know if I'm ready. I don't know.
You can't clap at the right spot? Come on, here it comes.
I don't know if this is for me.
You did it!
I told...
Woo! Yes!
I told myself I wouldn't fall into the clapping phenomenon.
You know what, Hudson? That's because you're a big bummer.
Yeah.
Go ahead and look at yourself in the mirror. I'm a bummer right there. I'm not going to clap when the clapping thing is happening.
Yeah.
It is clap time.
I'm not a clapper.
Who
like
is?
in any situation.
Ever?
I mean, I clap every once in a while.
You clap because of social pressure.
I never am the first to clap. Definitely not.
Okay.
I never clap because I just feel it in me, and I'm like, it's time to clap. I only clap if there's enough other people clapping where it's like, all right, I guess I'll just give in.
Okay.
To fit in.
So what do you, like, when you like something, what do you do?
Like, in what instance?
I don't know. Like, okay, at a concert.
I don't know. I don't feel like clapping is ever
yell?
a thing that. Yeah, I'll yell if I'm at a concert and having fun. I'll be like, yeah, good song, I like it, or whatever.
Okay.
But am I going to clap at the end of the song? Probably not.
Okay, are you going to clap at the end of a movie you really like?
Oh, definitely.
I bet you hate that, don't you?
I hate the things I hate in life are people that clap at movies.
Okay.
People that clap when you land a plane. Those are terrible things. Don't do those.
Well, the thing I see the difficulty there is because they don't actually get it.
Right. Like the movies, there has to be somebody to receive the clap. And when you're clapping for a movie, nobody's receiving the clap. You're clapping at a screen.
Okay, but then you have to start asking yourself, is clapping about giving to the artist or is clapping about expressing yourself?
No, it's showing appreciation when you're doing that, when you're clapping as applause. If you're clapping along with a song, that's different.
Yeah. Okay.
That's for you.
I've been in theaters where people are clapping, and I've thought, like, I understand how they feel, but this is dumb.
Yeah.
I've been there for that. Sure. Okay, what about this? You go see, let's say you go see Phantom of the Opera.
Okay.
It's in town.
Yeah.
You go see Phantom at the end, and they're doing a curtain call, and, everybody's coming out and bowing.
That's okay.
You're
I might clap.
You might clap for that.
Okay, I go see comedians every once in a while.
Okay.
Definitely a comedian clapper because you're showing your appreciation. Obviously, they want you to laugh, and I laugh, but then at the end, like, you got to applaud at the end because they did a good job.
Well, see, then you are a clapper.
That's the only time.
Okay, so comedians,
and like theater stuff, which I never do. But
all right. No, like, what about a good rhythmic song comes on the radio, and you're like, hey, this is the time that I clap when I'm on the riot. Like, what about that? You just did it.
Not really.
You just did it.
Yeah, but just because you really pressured me into it. Well, you twisted my arm into clapping.
That's right.
But I would have never done that out of my own volition.
You should stop hitting yourself, too. Stop hitting yourself, Hudson. Okay. So, I don't know. Like, you know what? I will say sometimes, though, like, I went to, like, Easter Sunday. I went to church yesterday.
Yeah.
I always found myself in that weird space. Like, I went to the early service, so it was like really early in the morning, and you get like, I always feel kind of bad for whoever's up on stage because you get like 3 or 4 people that are really awake and they're clapping, and you're like, man, I'm just not awake enough to clap right now, and people are like, clap, 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 and I'm like, I feel bad. Should I clap now? Or like anytime you find yourself in a circumstance where the person on stage is like, does anybody know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
And I can't decide because I'm really loud in general, so I can't decide if I want to be like, yeah, you know, or if I'm like, shh, don't say anything. Like, don't.
It's definitely tough when you're in a situation like somebody's on stage and they say something like that and the crowd is generally dead.
Yeah.
And so you're trying to decide, like, do I want to be the person that sticks out to give this person a break, or do I want to not put myself in a situation where I'm the weird one? Like, oh, he's up on stage, he's the weird one. But if I clap and give him feedback or whatever, then, and I'm the only one, then I'm the weird one.
Well, I think we've established in this conversation that you're not going to be the guy.
No, I don't want to be.
You're not going to stand, you're not going to clap for anybody.
I don't want to stand out in that way.
Like once or twice a year at the most.
Yeah.
The Riot.
They hate me, they hate you, they hate us.
Why else would they make us listen to the worst of the Riot? RadioU.
Let me show you the lamest, least exciting police chase in the history of mankind. The only way a police chase could get lamer is if it was a foot chase against somebody in one of those hover-round scooters that you get at Walmart. That's the only way this gets less exciting. So apparently there was a police chase in New Hampshire. Police were after a U-Haul truck. Have you ever driven a U-Haul truck before? Have you ever been in a U-Haul truck? They are the slowest accelerating vehicles in the entire world.
They are. Very big, lumbering.
You can put
like there should be a trombone playing while you drive it.
You put your foot all the way to the floor, and it's like, are we starting yet? Is it going? Wait. I think we're moving. And then no, it's the worst. And almost all of them, at least I think all of them, they top out at 55 miles per hour. They
don't go very fast.
All right, 55, that's it. And, okay, now, let's be honest. If you got yourself, and this may be my video game life coming out a little bit, but if the police are chasing you, you actually don't want long stretches. What you want to do is you want to go into a dense area where you can make a lot of turns and actually lose them. Mm-hmm. Oh, except you're in a U-Haul van, one of the most recognizable vehicles on the road. You're not in a Honda Civic where everybody and their brother has one. You're in a U-Haul van.
Just look for the vehicle with the big Arizona sticker on the side.
Oh, my gosh, dude. So
the painting of the Grand Canyon, it'll stick right out.
Man, so 55 miles an hour. And here's where it gets even less exciting. Did they put out, like, the spike strips? No. Did they use, like, the sonic cannon? Or I don't know what the heck no. They just chased the U-Haul truck until it ran out of gas. That's it. That is.
Oh, that's going to be an expensive U-Haul return trip for that guy.
Yeah, they're going to charge him by the gallon.
Yep. When you don't bring it back at the same level that you left it with, that's a problem.
So it turns out that Edward Alexander, he's 52 years old. Yes, they caught him because he was dumb enough to get into a police pursuit in a U-Haul truck. They said that he faced arraignment on counts of reckless conduct, disobeying the police, drunken driving. Oh, okay, there we go. The police approached him in Salem, and they thought he was passed out. And as the police officer got closer, the guy started up the truck and took off. So that's how he ended up, whatever. The other thing he did, and this is the part I don't completely understand, is that they said that at some point during the chase, he was he was throwing his credit cards out the window. So
what?
Maybe they can't identify him. Is that what he's thinking? I don't know.
That's a confusing one.
I mean, him being drunk makes a lot more sense if you think about it, but still.
I've watched a lot of live PD and stuff like that. They do some weird stuff. I've never seen somebody throw credit cards out the window.
I actually had a brief period where I was oddly addicted to the show called Real Stories of the Highway Patrol.
Okay.
I just kept watching all these police pursuits. But I never saw one with a U-Haul van because up until now I didn't think people were that dumb.
Right.
Of course, I'm wrong.
I know. You hate the Riot. Why are they on the radio?
Stupid. Yeah.
Honestly, we can't trust them with anything else. It's the Riot on RadioU.
I just added it to our Facebook page. So if you need something to get together with some other people and argue about, facebook.com/RadioU. Isn't that what the internet's for?
That's
Arguing?
what it's all about.
Well, it gets better. IGN just updated their top 100 video games of all time. So they've got it's not a top 10 list. I love that it's a top 100 list.
Right.
It actually takes a little too long to scroll through, let's be real. So I asked the question there, if you were to say, what do you think is your best game ever? Ever? Mm-hmm. What would you have to pick? And Hudson, I didn't prep you for it, but can you pick?
That's tough.
As an Xbox One owner, do you feel like you need to say Halo something?
No, because I haven't even played Halo on my new Xbox.
Okay.
Haven't even done it.
You played Gears of War?
I played Gears of War.
Okay.
Love Gears of War. Big fan. Don't feel like that's the transcendent game that would be number one on my list, but it's good.
All right.
I feel like it would have to go back a few systems.
So you feel like it has to be historic in order for it to really feel like the best ever.
It has to have had some time to breathe. Although I will say I really do like Cuphead. But again, that would be high on my list. I don't know if it would be a number one.
Not at the top.
Actually, I do know that it wouldn't be, but I really like it.
Okay.
I think I'm feeling like I really liked Call of Duty, the original Call of Duty on the PC. I loved playing that.
The original Call of Duty.
Yes.
That's old school.
That's
right
old
there.
school. I love that. That's a classic. I feel like some of the Mario Karts you could go with, or some of the Super Smash Brothers, maybe. What is that? The GameCube one was good. I can't remember which one is which, but
was that Super Smash Brothers Melee?
Yes, I think so.
Okay, so
I feel like that was really good.
Yeah, did they have? I don't think they had a Wii one. Yeah, they did. They had to, right?
Yeah, they had to.
So, and then I definitely have played the Wii U one, and then that's coming to the Switch,
right?
Even though it's not out yet. So,
right.
Okay, well, I've got their top 5 list here.
Okay.
Number 5, they say The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. So that would be the Super Nintendo one,
right?
Which you could play on the SNES Classic, which was just released.
Right.
So that came out originally in 1991.
And that's number 1?
That's number 5.
Oh, number 5. That's a good call. That's a good one.
I've played through that. That is a great game.
Yeah.
It is a great game. They also, here we go, another Super Nintendo game, Super Metroid.
Okay.
So that came out in 1994. So every game that comes out and you hear someone say, it's a Metroidvania, this is what they're talking about.
Right.
Number 3, they choose Portal, which came out in 2007. Have you played that?
Yeah, that's like a puzzle kind of game, right?
Yeah, where you shoot the blue thing, and then it comes out where you shoot the orange thing.
Yeah.
You walk through the portal.
Yeah, that's fun. I actually want to play that.
You have played it? Or
I played it. I want to play it. I'm thinking about it now. I want to see if I can find it.
Portal 2 would be a good choice, too. That's a great game.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same mechanics as the original. Maybe not quite as good, but still pretty good.
Yeah.
Number 2, The Legend of Zelda: The Ocarina of Time.
Yep, that's another good choice.
That's a classic. That's Nintendo 64 was on that game, and it's out on everything else, the 3DS and stuff. And then their number 1 game, they say, of all time, the most important. What do you think?
It's got to be a Mario, right?
It's a Mario game. It is a Mario game.
Super Mario
World.
Okay.
For the Nintendo.
Yeah.
Or Super Nintendo, I mean.
Yeah.
So
their Super Nintendo list.
Yeah, top 5 games, 3 of them are Super Nintendo games.
Yeah.
4 of them are Nintendo games.
Right.
And then you've got Portal. just like out of nowhere there in the top 5. So, you know what? Like I said, you want to argue with us about it? Stop by our Facebook page, facebook.com/RadioU. Let us know if you think, I can do better than that.
Yeah.
Got a better list. I still haven't told you what I think mine would be, but
go for it.
I don't know. See, this is the hard thing. Is like historically, do you pick one that's like this was the most influential?
Yeah.
Or is this the one I want to sit down and play right now?
Yeah, the most playable, the most fun at the time, but maybe you don't go back to it. I don't know.
I could have arguably gone with Link to the Past. Maybe that, like if I had to pick historically, but like modern game that I think is probably the best game that's out and played right now would be the Zelda game on the Switch.
Yeah, I know a lot of people would say that.
Dude, that game.
That
game, Hudson. Oh my gosh.
This was the worst of the riot, and we'd like to congratulate you on having the stomach to stick around to the very end. The riot exists because RadioU exists, and RadioU only exists because of your support. Find out more and give now at RadioU.com/donate.
Is it true nudism if you got to carry a towel around?